Welcome to The Dead Life. Here's world-renowned medium, Alison DuBois.
Welcome to The Dead Life. I'm Alison DuBois. Today I have Sophia DuBois in studio to answer calling questions where we give a Gen X and Gen Z spiritual perspective to listeners' problems. I'm very happy to have her with me today, as always.
Thank you.
If you want to book a life or mediumship reading with me, email us at booking@alisondubois.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Medium Allison or on my Facebook fan page. If you're looking to set your money or love intentions with your coven on Halloween, you can order Divination 22 vodka at bigthirst.com, divination22.com, or pick up a bottle in Scottsdale at One Handsome Bastard to manifest what you want to bring into your life. So you can catch up on past episodes of The Dead Life on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or at alisondubois.com. Sophia, thanks for just coming by.
Of course. Also, actually, the podcast is not on alisondubois.com.
It's not anymore?
Nope. It's just on the deadlifepodcast.com.
And this is why I pay her the big bucks.
Yes. I got you. I just wanted to clear it up so people know.
Thank you. Okay, that's very helpful.
Yes.
Okay. So I have all these websites. It's really hard to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
So AlisonDubois.com has like resources and stuff for people if they're looking for somebody who does like animal communication, that sort of thing. Okay.
It has your resources and it has your booking. So if people want to schedule, they'd go to your website.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Or they could just email at booking@alisondubois.com.
Either way.
All right.
Either way.
Sounds good. So
Yay.
We haven't done any call-ins in a while, and I was going through some of them very complicated.
Yes. I haven't been on here in 5 months, probably more.
It's been a little busy.
It's
been crazy. We had the Emmys, we had Fallon's baby shower, we had a whole lot Vegas for that podcast that I was on, Sean Mike Kelly.
Yeah.
A lot going on.
We've been everywhere.
So I'm happy to be back with my listeners, and we're here for you today. So why don't we jump in with the first call-in?
Okay.
Hi, Allison. Love your show. My name is Ashley. My husband recently committed suicide on my birthday last year. He left me a note 2 months before, saying that I was the love of his life and how much he appreciated me loving him. However, the act of him committing suicide on my birthday really just tells me hatred. He was a veteran. And it's been a year and 2 months now, and I am stuck in my grief. I am so stuck in my grief that my boss and I have talked about having me committed, because I cannot mentally, I'm stuck in a loop. I have so many questions that I know that won't get answered. And I'm scared that I lost my twin flame, my true soulmate. His name was Tommy. And I'm wondering if you could please help me understand.
So I really wanted to answer Ashley's because she's in a very raw pain stage of grief, especially with suicide being, the cause of passing. Perspective is really important here. And I guess it's how I see things. I see through the eyes of the dead rather than the living. Mm-hmm. But I do try and moderate both sides so that they can understand each other. And one thing that I've talked about before is sometimes people pass on specific dates, like a birthday or an anniversary. They do it not because I believe Tommy's his name. Mm-hmm. And he's a veteran. So thank you to all of our veterans, because Anybody that goes through war and all of the things that they see and experience, they don't come back the same. And I know this because my brother, Uncle Michael, went to war, and we know how, that can affect people. They're human. It's, part of their sacrifice. So when they pass on days that are very specific to you personally, it's what I call a soul contract. They're making a soul contract to never leave you. It's almost as if they're leaving their indelible mark on you, saying, we'll never be separated. So with him passing on her birthday, my sense is it was to be close to her. And it was to say, I'm going to heal. This is me healing, because in this lifetime in the physical world, he wasn't able to get to the point of being able to function in this world anymore. And I think he was letting her know that in spirit, he'd be whole again.
I'm happy that you see the spirit side, because to me, I think, first of all, it's very helpful to know he was a veteran. I agree, because that is something that you can't really explain unless you've been in their shoes. I mean, he probably had a lot of trauma, PTSD, things that happened that made him not who you fell in love with, I personally think that it was a bit selfish of him to do on her birthday. At least do it the next day, spend and have the best birthday ever with her.
It wouldn't have mattered if it was the next day.
Know,
the person always still feels it's connected. I
I
understand where you're coming from. I do. And that's why I like to bring the dead's perspective into this arena, because of course you'd be hurt. Of course, every birthday that's the person that you think of. And I could see why she thinks he doesn't love her because he did it to hurt her. But in reality, it feels like he was grasping at being able to stay connected to her, and he couldn't be here anymore. And he had hit that wall. He couldn't find joy in things he knew he should find joy in, such as the love of his life's birthday and celebrating it. And when people get to that place, and I felt their energy many times, it's they're not even here anymore. It's painful for them to be here. Like waking up is a disappointment. I can't express the amount of pain that these people are in. And often veterans, as many people do, self-medicate to try and escape, the pain and the memories of what they experienced, which he may or may not have done. I don't know, but often they do. So that may have been a contributing factor. This in no way is him saying, I don't love Ashley and I did this to hurt you on his way out. This is actually his way of saying, I want to be close to you. And this is the only way I can think of letting you know that I won't leave you. So I do think he is her soulmate and that connection. And I think in the end, he was saying, I won't leave you. I just can't function in this physical world anymore, but I'll wait for you and I'll be here.
Well, so what do you think she should do when it comes to work? Should she be committed? Should you go to support groups? Maybe a little leave of absence for a second?
I think a leave of absence would probably be good. Grief support groups are incredibly important. Veteran support groups, I know they have them for the partners as well that are left behind, that I know could relate to her. There's something about having human beings that relate to you and being able to talk to somebody openly that frees you up so that you don't have to keep your mouth shut, act like you're having fun, and be around the friends that you had before who, want you to be who you were before, and you'll never be that person again. So you're trying to find some sort of a middle ground where you can be here and kind of work your way back to a feeling of normal and finding moments of joy in little moments in life. And Ashley, especially with a traumatic passing such as his, it takes a long time to get to that place of having peace in your mind. I can guarantee Ashley that he's not in the same torturous mindset that he was when he was alive. That part of him is gone now. he was able to revert back to a younger age before the trauma, probably a time where he fell in love with Ashley and everything was as it should be.
Well, that's why he wrote you a letter.
Yes.
To tell you how much you mean to him.
Yes.
Because, I mean, unfortunately, he probably felt like he did want to commit suicide for a long, long time before he actually did it.
He probably stayed longer because of her.
100%.
Yes.
I think so too.
Mhm.
And I think that's why he wanted to at least leave you that note or that letter.
Yeah. So that she knew that she is the love of his life. He didn't want that to be a question for you and for you to think anything other than he would never leave you. And that's how I read it, just through the eyes of the dead. That was a way to connect himself to her in a very specific way. It was the day she was born. This was the day he was reborn. And so, I think he was really trying to find that not knowing if there's life after death, I'm going to at least indelibly connect to you on this day where you came into the world and I go into a new world. And so that she knew that he'd be okay and that he would stay with her. And you're right. The note it wasn't, and I've heard some horrendous notes that people leave before they commit suicide. This was not one of them. So Ashley, I want you to write down all those terrible thoughts that you're having regarding that he didn't love you and that he hated you. And that's why he did it on that day. And I want you to burn it. And I would like for you to work on being able to let go of those thoughts in your head that I feel you have dialogue inside of yourself in a way, and this is what I would fear, to give her a reason eventually to not be here, or to break her down and make her more depressed and to give her an excuse to not be here, because she wasn't loved, she wasn't worth loving, and all of that, and all of those thoughts. You need to burn those thoughts, and that is not what his intention was, and that's not what he would want. And I know it's harder to be left behind than to be the ones that are over there. I don't think he felt like he could heal in this world, in the life that he has with what he'd experienced. And this was the only way. He often suicides, really what they have on their mind is you're better off without them. And it's his way of saying, I love you, but I want you to have a normal life. I don't want it to revolve around my pain. I want you to be a mother or travel and, go after the things that you want. I don't think she needs to be committed. I feel like she's just in deep grief. I think
so too. Yeah, I don't think she needs to be committed. It's only been a year.
Right.
This is not
it's raw.
Unheard of. Yeah, for somebody to be feeling the way that you're feeling, especially on your birthday. I mean, I'm sure 2 months ago when it just passed again and it was his 1 year death anniversary, you didn't even know what to think. Do I celebrate? Do I not? I mean, that's such a back and forth.
They often come through and say, I want you to really blow it out on your birthday. I want you to have cake and, raise your glass and know that that was the single most important day in my life because that was when the person I love was born. That's when you came in. And so it'll
take a while.
It's going to take a very long time.
I was going to say for her to ever want to celebrate her birthday.
And to even want to have anybody in her life, and I mean, she's traumatized. So she needs somebody that can help her through the trauma of surviving a suicide. And I'm sure there are veterans resources that can help her to get that psychological help that she really does need.
Yeah.
I don't think she needs to be committed. I think she's normal. I think the fact that she's still standing is a testament to her strength. And he would want her to live every day knowing that he does love her and he'll wait for her.
Yeah.
And that they're not over. And so if she can keep in mind that every day she wakes up is a good day because it's a day closer to seeing him again and he'll be whole when she sees him, then maybe that'll help her to get out of bed in the morning, knowing she's moving towards him. She's not leaving him in the past. And her birthday is a day when something like this happens. Sometimes I recommend to people that they travel at that time of year, take a cruise, go somewhere with friends and just have a moment of reflection where you raise your glass and you say, I'm going to be okay, baby. I'm going to be okay. And where I go, you go.
Yeah.
And we'll go there together because they do live vicariously through us. So the things he wasn't able to enjoy in life because he had been through so much, he can feel joy through her. So that's a way she can connect with him. You want to go to the next?
Yes.
Hi, my name's Linda, living in Colorado, and I just had a couple questions. My husband, the love of my life, died very rapidly of pancreatic cancer, diagnosed in May, died the end of July. I was there in his final moments, and I guess my question is, I've heard that people are reincarnated to be with soulmates, and I truly believe we are soulmates. And my question, I guess, a couple is, I worry that he'll be reincarnated and say I pass. Will I be with him on the other side? And I guess with losing him, I feel like I now have a death wish. I just want to be with him. So, I just want some guidance. Will I be with my soulmate? And how do I get past this grief? Thank you.
So we had a bit of a theme going.
Yeah, I'm going to say.
Which is why we wanted to answer the hard questions, because these are the people who truly need it. So her husband died of pancreatic cancer. She's asking about reincarnation. I get wanting to be with him. I would feel the same way. Anybody would. You know, your life loses color when that person dies. All of a sudden you're in a world that's black and white and none of it matters to you. And I've seen this grief. She definitely needs some counseling. I will say on the reincarnation front, people don't usually reincarnate until everyone they love has died, because they want to be there for you, to intervene for you, to, stop that car accident from being as bad as it was, or whisper in your ear when someone's breaking into your house so you run out the back with your children. I've heard that one too.
Okay.
So they really do intervene for us. And they also want to be with you on the other side. Then your souls will make a choice on whether or not the two of you didn't get to do something in this lifetime that you wanted to come back for. And that's up to you. You can choose to stay on the other side if you'd like and relive the happiest moments of your life together. You just don't make new memories.
Yeah.
And that's why the dead come back. We have so many amazing opportunities as the living to do things that they would give anything to do, and we just squander it. And I'm guilty too.
Yeah.
So he's not going to reincarnate until you're together again. He'll wait for you. He's going to be whispering in your ear, "Come on, baby, you can get through this. It's going to be okay. You're not done here. There are things you need to do still that are part of your path, and I need you to get there. I had already walked my path." I see things, like I said, differently than a lot of people. And when we see somebody like him, he was probably a great guy, who passes of pancreatic cancer, which is a terrible, terrible way to go. When they pass that way, his mission in this lifetime may have been to find true love and to find unconditional love. He may not have experienced that in a last lifetime, and he found that with Linda. So his circle was complete. And that's why sometimes they're taken out prematurely, and we're not okay with it.
Well, and from me, because we do the Gen X, Gen Z kind of perspective, to me, when I hear these, because I'm not married.
Yeah.
I don't have the love of my life. Although he was taken way too young and early, it is such a blessing that you found that.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a gift. And I see a lot of people who are elderly who never found the love of their life.
Yeah.
And they don't they don't believe it exists, or they don't believe they deserve it.
Yep.
And so they may have to come back because other issues in their life became their focus, and they were never fully able to open themselves up to someone to get to that place, or they never did the traveling that they were supposed to do to be the person they were meant to evolve into. So they may not have met. Some people are fated. Some people are fated to meet. And I know that you're going to find the love of your life. I know you end up married. I know you end up having kids,
Send him my way.
but it's so hard for you to believe right now, especially your generation where a lot of the guys, I don't know where their dads are, but their mothers were there too much or something, because
they're horrible.
Aren't they calling it that men these days want the princess treatment?
Yes. Yes.
Which is
They're
so
all
weird.
princesses.
Your dad's literally on top of your sister's roof right now, patching a hole.
Yeah.
Well, because it's torrentially downpouring outside. It's raining cats and dogs. And I love when he puts on his work boots and work gloves, and he's a rocket scientist. He doesn't have to do it, but he does it because he's a guy.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Not many of those left.
So I think we need to get some more of the sons in trade school out there, because they're a lot more fun to talk to, and they don't expect princess treatment.
Well, I'm thinking Scottsdale it's rough.
Okay. First of all, most of people in Scottsdale are not from Arizona.
I know.
So you cannot lump all of them in
Now
together.
I can.
Explain.
Because the ones from Scottsdale, first of all, went to high school here. I know how they turned out. Not all that good. And then a lot of them do end up just leaving. So there's really
Usually the ones that leave aren't from here. My argument would be
the high school.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
Sure, they were in high school here. Their parents probably moved here when they were kids, and they were raised in the traditions of their family.
I give up.
That may have been from somewhere else.
I give up.
My point being, it's not all guys in Scottsdale. There's some good ones, and you've dated some, very nice, very attractive guys. It's just they don't make you laugh. And that seems to be a big deal for you. And I can understand that. So yes, you'll find that. Linda had that in her life and will have it again with him. He'll wait for her.
Don't wish your life away either, because I know you said that it makes you want to, get there sooner and kind of die sooner and have a death wish in a way. But I know that you don't actually want to die, but you just want to be with him, which I get. Like, I understand why.
Such a push-pull feeling.
Push-pull. But like you just said for Ashley before, that, every day you wake up is a day closer to seeing them again. And he's going to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to save you. He's going to be in your ear. He's going to flicker the lights or whatever he'll do, right? So he'll still be around.
And this is the hurdle that most people have trouble getting past. Part of him being in spirit and her being here with spirit within her, we're supposed to be learning the communication. It strengthens our soul. So this journey she's going on does still include him, with him trying to reach out to her, to talk to her, for her to acknowledge that she hears him. I hear you, my love. I know you're here. I still want you to be part of my life, and welcoming him in and seeing where that journey takes her. Mm-hmm. Maybe she ends up being a light worker and doing healing work. Maybe it leads her down that path. Maybe she becomes a grief counselor and helps other people. When we lose people, it's supposed to jumpstart something in us that hadn't been touched before, to go in a direction that maybe we wouldn't have chosen, but that we belong.
Yeah, it's this, not exactly, because obviously this is the love of her life and she's not remarried or anything like that. Yeah. But it is reminding me that movie's coming out. Do you remember? You had sent it to me on Instagram, and it's that woman
where she dies and both husbands are on the other side, and she has to
choose which one she stays with for eternity. I want to see
that looks really good. Yeah,
we'll have to look. I forgot the name of it.
We're so going to see that. We will report back on it, people. For Linda, I wish I had more time in electronic infrastructure creativity, because I would create sites for somebody like Ashley to have someone like Linda to talk to. Totally. And where Linda lost her husband of a natural, horrible cause, disease, something that humans deal with, and she had to go down that road with him. Ashley loses somebody seemingly quickly, but it probably was in the making for a period of time. And so Ashley would probably, if she was to change shoes with Linda and be the one that got to sit next to the bed and at least understand why he was going to die and that it wasn't his choice. To her, that would be a luxury. But to Linda, she has her perspective. Ashley would probably rather be in anyone's shoes but hers.
Yeah.
But
it's good to lean on other people. And that's why I said the grief counseling or the support groups.
Widow support groups out there.
I feel like that'd be so helpful because at least you can eventually get lunch with the girls or the guys that lost their wives, and then
you lose all your friends because they don't want to hear or be around misery. And so they disappear.
Yeah.
Right.
But then you can just vent with them and talk about, you get it.
And they can handle it.
They can handle it.
Yeah. And they're there. They don't disappear.
No.
So I know I've talked to a lot of people who've gone to support groups and maybe went to one that they didn't vibe with. If you don't like one, try another one.
There's so many.
You've got to find the right fit for you. And there's a lot of them out there.
There's even Facebook groups.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure.
If you live in a really small town, they don't have it or something like there's some
you can do
online.
Zoom. Sure. You do online Zoom. I know that Helping Parents Heal is one of the groups that does the Zoom online, support groups. And I think a lot of them do. Ashley and Linda both need help. You could hear in their voices, they're practically disappeared. Like they're practically not here anymore.
Yeah.
Just with the amount of pain that they're in, they can't even breathe.
I almost started crying.
Yeah.
As she was talking.
With both of them.
You can feel it.
It's palpable. Yeah. And I know that we're all feeling for them, as human beings. And at the same time, sometimes we sit there and we're like, thank God that's not our day. It's not today. Today's a good day. Today's everything's still okay. And we have to relish in those days because I know one day I will have devastation or your dad will have devastation. And so every day I say, today's a good day. Everyone's okay. And that's it's not a bad way to go through life because you're taking inventory of all the good days. And we have a lot of them. And I think Linda would rather have still met her husband and fallen in love and have all the memories that she has, even if she had to go through this. Because we always say we do anything for the love of our life. We do anything for our partner. Well, Ashley's put in a situation here. It's like, will you live for me?
Yeah.
Do you love me enough to live for me? And that's what Tommy would say. And so for Ashley, I hope that she's able to find it within her. If you'll do anything for him, if you love him that much, you're going to have to live for him and find a way to do that. I also think pets are very helpful in support animals in helping them to heal as well because they feel your pain and they're there for you and they know how to soothe you and when to soothe you. So those are suggestions as well. So I hope that helps. Let's move on.
So this next one is more Halloween based with a Ouija board question.
Hi, Allison. My name is Lainey, and I live in Texas. And my question involves Ouija boards. I see them as just another tool to communicate with the other side. And I have friends who tell me that they're evil and I should never touch one and I should not interact with anything through a Ouija board because it's, quote, always evil. So I haven't used one, not since I was a kid at a slumber party, but I was just wondering what your thoughts are on that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
So I wanted to touch on this one because Halloween is not far off. And I know that people want to connect with the other side. And, we get into that place where we're sort of comfortable for it and even crave it.
Yeah.
So here's the thing with Ouija boards. If you're a strong mind and you have borders and boundaries and you've told a loved one on the other side, say your dad died, just say, Dad, please block any mischievous or negative entities from coming near me or my family. And they throw up walls for you, and they do that. When you use a Ouija board, you open yourself up to all spirits, not just the ones in your family, which is why I think that some people have attached an evil, energy to it.
You've gotten a lot of people that ask about evil energies and entities.
Yeah.
So guys,
Well, and there are some dark entities afoot. So it's something to be aware of. So I would say it's not that it opens her up to evil, but it certainly doesn't protect her from it. Like you could pull in a mischievous spirit or an earthbound, because it's like sending up a signal that you're open for business.
you've always told me since childhood, she goes, never touch a Ouija board. And this is when I would start going to sleepovers and stuff. And she's like, just walk away.
Don't do
not do it. Fallon did it.
Right. I'm not surprised. Your sister never listened.
Fallon did it with candles and all. And she's like, let's have a seance.
My prodigy. I'm so proud.
Yeah,
That's so funny. So, a Ouija board, for instance, if I was using one and say I had like some of my other medium friends with me, we'd be fine because we can control the energy coming through it. But weak minds, which young people have impressionable minds, are easy for the darker entities to connect with. And they're usually drinking and doing stuff like that, which weakens their energy even more, lowers their frequency. So now you're getting even lower energy coming through. So that's why I caution people on Ouija boards.
Have you heard of an echo? What an echo is?
Explain.
Okay. I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but I've seen a lot of videos on this where people say that they'll just be, I don't know, reading or like making a video on their phone, and they'll hear their mom call their name, and then they'll be like, oh, Mom, did you call me? And she's like, no, I didn't call your name. And an echo is technically an evil entity or spirit that echoes, like mimics people around you to try and lure you places. And it's not a good thing. Like, you do not want an echo. Look into it though, because I always thought that was so scary.
Okay, so you're talking about a low frequency energy trying to connect with you, though. It's the same thing.
They're like luring you.
So weaker, more impressionable minds are more likely to draw that. I know that Margaret Jameson, Granny Magic, that she's talked about that there's some stories of like the woods and where they do lure you into certain places that have this dark energy living in it. And I can't say that's not true. I haven't been around for all of history, so I have to confer, refer to her on that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't surprise me. I've never experienced that myself. I've thought I've heard my name called before.
Yeah.
But sometimes in public places, people will call my name to see if I turn around and then act like
no, but this is like
they didn't do it.
That's fair. But okay, that's different though, because you're a public figure. But like, no, I actually saw this video, this other one. I don't think this has to do with an evil spirit, but it kind of goes along with that. So I'm just going to share anyway. So this guy just posted a video, and you know how you can have like the attic where, you take the ladder down and then you can get up. He heard something in his garage, like pounding. And so he went in there and he took a video because he was kind of scared. He didn't know if there was like a burglar or something. And you just see the thing shut, closed, and then running. And he went up there with his camera to check it out. First of all, he's first ed in a horror movie. Like, what are you doing?
That's so Scooby-Doo.
There's no one up there. And he checked everywhere. He's like, there's no one up here. And so I'm like,
not a squatter.
I'm thinking it was a squatter, and I'm thinking call 911 and have them check it out instead of you and your camera.
You're very smart.
I know.
That's so funny.
I literally moved the next day. I'd be like, oops.
So you can do clearings to clear energy too. You can have somebody.
Not if it's a squatter.
Not if it's a squatter. Yes, the police have to come for that. So that would be interesting to get to the bottom of if he heard that again or if it never happened again.
I know.
Right?
I have no idea.
So
it was creepy.
There's a lot of creepy things in this world.
See, haunted houses to me, like real ones.
I love haunted houses.
They freak me out.
Really?
It actually does. Yeah, you guys think that I'm her daughter and so I'll like all that stuff?
Oh.
No way. I'd run. I'm out of here.
I won't go into the asylums, the haunted asylums.
It's too freaky.
Too much to attach themselves to you because it can even be the impressions left behind by mentally ill people
I know.
In those places that you can still carry. And it's not the soul of the person. It's just like the illness that lingers and the pain they endured.
See, I'm a huge empath.
Yes.
I'd be screwed. And I will say, if you weren't my mom,
Yeah.
my borders and boundaries would be way weaker than what they are, but
Yeah.
they're still not that strong.
You're Bambi. I got it.
I feel like they would attach to me immediately.
You're the softest thing in our whole family. You're so sweet.
Well, thank you.
I think you were sent to us so that we'd have an example of what that can look like.
That there's good in the world.
Yes. There's softness and people that don't carry so much baggage and energy.
Negativity.
Like Dad and I have like very heavy jobs. And even Dad, I mean, he can be light. It's just he came from an interesting family. He has his moments.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. No, yeah.
So
that's sweet.
he is. So the Ouija boards are a portal to the other side, just to sum it up, and can let anything through. So if you have a very strong mind and you've talked to the other side, borders and boundaries, it wouldn't be as big of a deal, but you still don't really play around with things with pentagrams on them.
Yep.
You know,
You're never going to catch me using one.
So let's go to the last.
The last one, yes.
Hi, Allison. This is Amy calling from California. I'm on a road trip and I'm binge listening to your podcast, and I'm so grateful for you. I'm a fellow Gen Xer, and I have to say, you crack me up so often. I wanted to call because I have some abilities. I feel like I'm the blind leading the blind when I say that. I have a lot of sensitivities to spirit, and I'm comfortable with it. I really am confused and I don't understand a lot of the things I experience, but I am comfortable with it at this point in my life. So one question I had is that I've had several experiences. I can give you an example of communicating with the spirits of people who are either close to death or have dementia. If I didn't know better, I would think that they were already on the other side. My friend has her husband in a home, and he's definitely ailing, and I have dreams about him sometimes, and I feel like he's partially already someplace else. I've had other similar experiences like that. I don't feel like that's a super concrete example. Well, my stepfather recently had like a double heart attack, and I didn't know what was going on with him, and I thought maybe he had passed because I felt like I was having a very clear, specific conversation with him. He made it through, he's okay, and about 4 days later, I swear I had really the identical conversation with him that I had earlier. So I guess it's all fascinating to me. I don't quite get it, and in the context of, can you be partially gone and partially on the other side? And it's just a curious and kind of bizarre thing that I connect with people who aren't completely gone. I just wanted to get your feedback. Thank you for everything. Thank you for listening to my message. And I will continue listening to you on my road trip in California. Take good care. Bye-bye.
I love being road trip fodder.
I love that.
That's fantastic. So this is actually a really interesting part of communication, because I've had experiences with people with dementia or that were in comas, and some of us can hear them and communicate to them.
Yeah.
And I had that experience not too long ago with a friend of ours.
Yeah.
And just hearing what she was saying and then responding in my head to her and letting her know how much we love her. And it was very calming for both of us. It was good. So if Amy's able to hear the thoughts of people with dementia or in comas, they're screaming pretty loud to get us to hear them. We don't see it on the outside in the ways that we're used to in the physical world. But if you close your eyes and just listen when you're sitting next to one of those people, you'll start to hear things in your head. And you should write that down, because people often ask me if I can communicate with people in comas. Yes, A lot of us can if you listen. And what the living are the worst at is listening. We want it now. We want it fast. We want to see it, to believe it. And when you're in that headspace, you're missing the point. Your soul is something they're trying to connect with, which is something that you either you can sense theirs and you're receptive to hearing what they have to say, or you're just doing it to see if you can do it. That's two different energies that you're coming at it. One will be successful and one won't. So
yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of stories of people that were in comas and they ended up getting out of them, but they could hear every single thing, every story. And they were so scared because they couldn't communicate with anyone being like, I'm here. Like, I'm not brain dead. I can hear you. Thank God their families loved them so much to just keep hoping that they'll get out of it. But for the dementia patients, that's very interesting because they probably do have a lot to say. And you just look at them with sad eyes of, oh, yeah, you're leaving.
You know, I think with people with dementia, it would be easier for you to communicate with them when they're asleep.
Okay.
Because when they're awake, whatever is diseased in their brain that's a filter that their information's running through. And so they may not remember you, for instance. When they're asleep, that part of them shut down. It's just their soul, and their soul can communicate with you. I'd sit next to their bed and do that if they have dementia. If they're in a coma, but their mind is intact, that is fine. Like, they could have their eyes open. You can sit next to them and hear their thoughts, and you'll get clear communication from them as well. Don't try and run an agenda. Don't try and decide what you think they should say. Just listen and write down what you sense, what you feel.
Yeah.
So I hope that helps, Amy. Some of the biggest roadblocks for people, as you see through the show's themes that we talk about, is getting past trusting their own
abilities,
their sense.
Yeah.
And what they're really hearing. And they know they're hearing it, but they let their brain talk them out of it. So you've got to shut your brain down in order. And by that, I just mean, don't run an agenda. Just listen in the center of your chest when you're next to them and talk to them in your mind. You don't have to say it out loud. They can hear you and have that communication. And the dead come through all the time and say, she was holding my hand. I knew they were telling me they loved me. I knew they told me it was okay to go. And I was at peace. And then they tell me who they're with or somebody that they were with before they let go, but that they were never alone.
Yeah.
And so the people that are dying come through as my clients, loved ones that they want to hear from, and tell me they heard you, everything that you had to say. And it is frustrating for them not knowing.
Be able to.
It's the same with dementia and coma patients, where they get frustrated and then they wake up and they're like, I heard everything and I was trapped in my head and I couldn't wake up. Well, imagine waking up or being aware that you died and you're trying to talk to people with everything you have. You're trying to get their attention and everybody's going, is that Dad? Oh no, that wasn't him. I'm sure I just wanted to think it was Dad.
Totally. Well, I'm sure people,
it's so frustrating.
But do you think that, because I've seen it in movies and stuff where coma patients will see themselves out of body. Do you think that they actually see what's going on in the room and they're like, no, get me back in my body?
They've interviewed people that were in surgery. And they would explain it. They're like, your saw broke. And then the nurse with the blonde hair did this. And she knelt down beside me. And they describe everything in the operating room. And then I've seen this same person go outside of the hospital because she followed her family out there to see what they were doing. And she said, and I saw my mom smoke, something I'd never seen her do. And the mom was mortified that her daughter saw her smoking. But she woke up from her coma and recounted all of these very specific details and what everybody was talking about. And all the people that she'd never seen smoke out there having a cigarette. And it was just,
that would
it
freak
was
me out,
interesting.
though. I'd be like, oh, I'm really, really going to die if my mom's smoking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh no, I'd be so scared.
Well, there's some lack of awareness when they're in that place.
Yeah.
They're more like, why would she do that? They're not thinking that they could die.
Yeah.
So kind of interesting. So for those of you that want to watch those sort of beyond documentaries that are on on streaming, they're kind of cool to watch to see what people's account of when they were in the coma was, or when they died and were brought back. I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love those too.
So, well, we'll do some more questions. We won't make it 6 months next time. We'll make sure it's closer together.
Yes.
Thank you for helping me to answer these difficult questions.
You're welcome.
And what if some people do want to follow you on social media? Where would they go?
You know what? You can go to Sophia DuBois photo and go to my Instagram account. Check out my photography.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and thank you to my listeners. Tune in next week for a fresh episode of The Dead Life. I'm Allison DuBois. This is The Dead Life. And to all of my believers out there, don't stop believing.
Join us next week on The Dead Life. And don't forget to subscribe now to get notified of every new episode.